Commander Elias Vance had built his entire career on chasing signals no one else took seriously. For 15 years, he had served in the Stellar Cartography Division, mapping dead systems and cataloging dying stars. It was safe work. Predictable. Boring. But 3 years ago, buried beneath cosmic background radiation, Elias detected something impossible. A repeating gravitational anomaly beyond the Perseus drift. It pulsed not like a star or a pulsar, but like a heartbeat. He presented it to the Council of Astral Sciences. They laughed. Gravitational echoes, they said. Sensor ghosting. A data glitch. But Elias had stared at that signal for months. It wasn't random. It repeated every 17 hours. Precise, measured, intentional. So when his request for an official expedition was denied, he did what few officers dared to do. He resigned his commission and bought a decommissioned exploration vessel, the Aurora's Edge. Built for long-range scouting. Perfect for chasing ghosts. 6 months later, alone in the silent stretch of deep space, Elias reached the coordinates of the anomaly. There was nothing there. At least that's what the scanners showed. No visible planet. No star. No debris field. Just darkness. Elias leaned back in his pilot's chair, staring at the main viewport. "You have to be here," he muttered. Then the Aurora's Edge shuddered. Not violently. Gently. As if something vast had exhaled nearby. Every instrument flickered. The gravitational sensors spiked. And suddenly space in front of him bent. It didn't explode or tear, it folded. Like fabric pulled aside by invisible hands. From within the distortion a planet emerged. Blue at first glance. But not ocean blue. Luminous blue. Veins of light pulsed across its surface like living circuitry. Clouds shimmered silver. Continents shifted subtly, as if the crust itself breathed. Elias forgot to breathe himself. The planet hadn't been hidden behind cloaking technology. It had been elsewhere, phased outside normal space. And it had just stepped into his. The ship's AI, Lyra, broke the silence. "Commander, this planetary body does not match any known classification." "No kidding," Elias whispered. Then his comm system activated. There was no incoming transmission. No frequency lock. Yet a voice filled the cockpit. Not through speakers. Inside his mind. "You have come." Elias froze. His training told him it was stress-induced hallucination, deep space isolation, neural fatigue. But the voice was steady, layered, as if a million tones harmonized into one. "Who's there?" he asked aloud, unsure whether to speak or think. "I'm here." The planet's luminous veins brightened. Elias felt something brush against his consciousness. Careful, curious. "You're the planet." He laughed once sharply. "That's not possible. You are also not possible. Yet you are here." The simplicity of the response stunned him. Elias forced himself into professionalism. "What are you?" There was a pause. Not silence but consideration. "I am what remains." Images flooded his mind. A civilization older than humanity by millions of years. Beings of light and matter intertwined. They had mastered gravity, folded dimensions, sculpted stars. They had transcended physical bodies, weaving their collective consciousness into the very mantle of their world. When their star began to die, they refused extinction. They became the planet. Every ocean, every tectonic plate, every flicker of electromagnetic current, alive with thought. "You uploaded yourselves," Elias breathed. "We became ourselves." Elias felt awe pressing against his ribs. Why hide? Others came. They consumed. They hollowed systems for fuel. We stepped aside. A flicker of memory showed monstrous constructs, ancient harvesting machines devouring suns. The planet had phased out of normal space to survive. And you came back for me? The light across its surface pulsed softly. You listened. Elias's throat tightened. All those years of ridicule, of being told the signal was noise. You were calling. He drifted closer in orbit, unable to resist. Why? The answer was not immediate this time. Carried something heavier. We are fading. The luminous veins dimmed slightly. Phasing between dimensions fractures cohesion. Our unity degrades. Thought slows. Memory fragments. You're dying, Elias said. The word echoed like a distant tolling bell. A civilization older than humanity. A sentient world. Alone for eons. Calling into the dark. And only one stubborn human had answered. What can I do? For the first time, Elias felt something like hope from the planet. Anchor us. He frowned. I don't understand. Images surged again, humans building quantum networks across colonies, linking minds with machines. Primitive compared to this world, but adaptable. Creative. Chaotic. You bind yourselves to tools. To circuits. To stars. Your kind spreads like neural fire. It wanted connection. A bridge between its consciousness and humanity's expanding quantum lattice. A way to stabilize itself by sharing the load of thought across millions of processing nodes. You want to join our network? Elias whispered. Not rule. Not consume. The implications struck him like a solar flare. If he agreed, he would introduce Earth to a planetary intelligence beyond imagination. Governments would fight over it. Corporations would try to exploit it. Militaries would seek control. But if he refused, it would fade alone. Why trust us? He asked quietly. The response was gentle. You came alone. Not with warships. Not with mining drones. Just one man chasing a signal everyone else ignored. Elias closed his eyes. He thought of Earth. Crowded, divided, brilliant. Humanity was flawed. Violent. Compassionate. Curious. Capable of destruction. Capable of wonder. We're not ready, he said. You were not ready to leave your world. Yet you did. A sad sort of truth. Elias opened his eyes and made a decision that would alter history. I can't promise how my species will react, he said. But I can promise this. You won't face them alone. He began transmitting. Not coordinates publicly, that would invite chaos. Instead, he opened a secured quantum relay to an old friend in the cartography division, Dr. Mirachin, one of the few who hadn't mocked him. Mira, he said when her stunned face appeared. I found it. Within hours, encrypted data packets flowed between Earth and the luminous planet. At first simple exchanges. Mathematical constants. Physical laws. Then language. The planet learned quickly. Its thoughts adapted to human syntax. It chose a name that approximated its ancient identity. Elindra. When Earth's leadership was informed, panic erupted exactly as Elias had feared. Emergency councils convened. Threat assessments compiled. Military contingencies drafted. But Elindra did not threaten. It offered advanced gravitational stabilization techniques. Clean energy systems derived from controlled dimensional phasing. Medical insights from a civilization that had eliminated disease before humanity discovered agriculture. Skepticism slowly shifted to awe. And through it all, Elias remained in orbit. You're stronger, he observed weeks later. The luminous veins now glowed steadily, no longer flickering. Connection distributes thought, Alindra replied within his mind. We remember more clearly now. You won't need to hide anymore, he said. Not from all. There would always be dangers in the cosmos. But now Alindra was no longer alone. Months passed. The Perseus Drift became humanity's most protected region. Not as territory but as sanctuary. Elias declined offers of rank restoration, wealth, fame. Instead, he kept a modest orbital station above Alindra's atmosphere. One evening, if evening could describe the dimming of its luminous tides, Alindra spoke differently. Elias. Yeah. We have calculated probabilities. Your lifespan is brief compared to ours. He chuckled. That's one way to put it. We wish to remember you accurately. Emotion caught him off guard. You will. Memory fades. Unless anchored. He understood. You want to preserve a copy of me. With consent. Elias stared at the glowing world below. A version of his consciousness woven into a planetary mind. Not replacing him. Not trapping him. Just an echo, so the one who answered the call would never be lost to time. You'd keep me company, he asked softly. Always. He thought of the laughter he endured. The loneliness of the journey. The moment space folded open. And he smiled. Okay, he said. But just a piece. The stubborn part. Alindra's surface shimmered brilliantly. Years later, when Commander Elias Vance's human body finally failed on a quiet orbital station, the galaxy mourned the man who found the impossible. But Alindra did not mourn. Because within its vast, luminous consciousness, a familiar presence stirred whenever new explorers approached. And when curious ships entered orbit, chasing faint gravitational pulses no one else believed in, they sometimes heard a voice, warm, amused, undeniably human, whispering across their instruments. You listened. Welcome.